I'm going to talk about why multitasking destroys kids' focus. Now, this is the story of every house. You enter a lounge or a living room, you find a child with the school bag open, TikTok playing on one side, they are replying to messages, scrolling the Instagram screen, and then sometimes there is a TV on in the background as well. Now, we adults call it multitasking, and kids call it normal life. However, it is not. Our brain is not built in to multitask. Rather, it can switch between tasks. Now, when a child switches from one task to another, like from scrolling the screen through replying a message, talking to a sibling, the brain shuts down one activity and it jumps to another. And in this process of switching, there's a lot of mental energy wasted. Let me explain it in very simple words. Imagine a whiteboard. When we write on the whiteboard and erase it, there's still faint marks left behind on the whiteboard. When we switch between tasks, the residue is left and the brain becomes messier. And when it becomes messier, what is the result? It becomes difficult to understand, we work slower, and we even make many mistakes. Similarly, kids, while doing their homework, when they use multiple screens, surveys shows that their attention is much lower than the students who are focused, and it is reduced by, I think, 20%. This is a common belief that these kids are digital natives and they can handle distraction and multitasking very effectively. However, it is the opposite. Now, I'll explain why. There's part of the brain which controls their focus and self-discipline. And that part of the brain is not completely developed until mid-20s. They are rather worse in managing distractions. Imagine we assign a child to write an essay, and suddenly there is a notification which pops up. The child replies a friend's message. He talks to a friend on the phone, and then he starts writing again. Now, this switching in between this task actually affects his performance, because research says that it takes them 10 to 15 minutes to re-enter deep concentration and focus. So imagine that piece of work, when it is completed, I think that piece of work will be shallow and rushed through. It will not be a work which is completely done with attention and focus. And imagine a child who's doing the same task with complete focus. He will give you a remarkable task. A recent study by Microsoft showed that the focus span of Gen Z is 8 seconds, which is the worst. And it is not going to affect only their academic performance. It is linked to higher rate of anxiety, depression, less emotional intelligence, less empathy. And I'll give you a very simple example. You find a Gen Z sitting with the family in a lounge. They are not connected to the people, to the ideas. Once a father told me that when his son is around, he's half there, half somewhere else. And he's not completely in that moment. And that is the problem with Gen Z, because the focus span is only 8 seconds. Parents have a very effective role, and they don't need to do much. They just need to draw a line. And there is a technique which they can apply, Pomodoro. That's a very effective technique. Please must try it. Sit for studies, half an hour study, and take a mini break, and then come back. So that half an hour they will be focused, and because they will know that they will have, they will take a break and they will have their phone, and then they can play with the gadget. So that is really going to work, because research shows that kids who study while their phones, even if it is put down on the side table, it reduces their performance by 20% and their retention by 20%. So apply the Pomodoro technique. And I like to add one more thing. We as parents needs to be role models, because I've seen a mother and a father busy on the phone while sitting in the lounge or even in the dining room. So whatever they see, they do the same thing. Even when we go out as a family, we should keep our gadgets away, or we leave them in the car or at home.